What's up, Outriders? It's Alpha Wolf with Wolfpack Gaming. In today's video, we'll be taking a detailed look at Outriders. We'll be going over the different classes, how each of them play, the story without spoilers, the game's unique mechanics, and what makes this game different from the other looters you may have played before, and much, much more. This is Wolfpack Gaming's review of Outriders. One of the biggest positives with Outriders is that it's completely cross-play compatible with every system, including next-gen consoles. Meaning, no matter what platform you're playing on, you can group up with others on any other platform. So you can be playing the game on Xbox and play with all your friends on PlayStation. This is one of the first games in a long time to implement cross-play, especially to this extent. This also leads us into multiplayer. The entire game is co-op enabled, so you can play the entire game with your friends, and there is scaling, so that if you join your friend that's lower to help them out, it'll scale you down, so you aren't destroying everything, making the game less fun. However, the game doesn't scale up, so if your friend joins you, and you're much further and higher world tier or level than them, they're going to struggle depending on how much higher you are.
We shall see victory! A great new altered fights at our side! Together, we shall fuck them up!
Without any spoilers, I can tell you that for me, this story was incredibly engaging. It had me hooked and gave me a sense of emotion and connection to the characters that made me care when something actually happened to one of them. It's also quite long, with it taking you through a ton of different areas that all feel very different. On top of the main story missions, you'll come across side missions, which all have their unique story to go along with them, so it's just as fun to do the side missions. Two other types of missions that you'll unlock once you've reached a place called Trench Town are contracts and monster hunts, which are essentially side quests to just hunt down a specific person or monster in an area. Kill them, and then collect your rewards, and I'll tell you right now that it definitely seemed like these were some of the most rewarding missions I played in terms of loot that you'll be getting. I want to take some time to talk about the classes within Outriders in detail. There are 4 classes in total: Devastator, Pyromancer, Trickster, and Technomancer. Each class plays very differently from one another, and they all feel quite unique. A mechanic in this game that's completely unique from any other looter I've played before is the healing mechanic. There are no healing potions or anything like that. You heal by being aggressive, dealing damage, and getting kills. Each class has their own unique way of healing depending on their playstyle. The Devastator is the tank style class. Playing the Devastator requires you to be up close and personal with the enemies if you want to stay alive and gain any health back. The Devastator healing works by getting kills in close quarters. The Pyromancer is a mid-range, skill-focused class that relies on skill weaving, or combining skills together to maximize its potential. The Pyromancer will heal whenever an enemy dies that's been marked, or in other words damaged, by one of its skills. The Trickster is the rogue type and masters of time. They can slow enemies with their abilities and are great at hit-and-run tactics. They're close-range fighters, and their heal mechanic is similar to the Devastator. They heal whenever an enemy dies in close proximity to them, but the difference between them is that the Trickster actually gains a shield as well. The Technomancer is the support and healer class. They have the only skill in the game which directly heals your team. They're also the long-range class if you're looking to snipe from afar. Their healing comes directly from dealing damage. Deal damage, earn it back in health. Each class is unique in many different ways, and honestly, it's hard to decide on a favorite. They're all great in their own ways, and they each play so different it's a fresh experience with each class you play. On top of earning up to a total of 8 different skills as you level up with each class, you'll also gain skill points to put into your class tree. The class tree is very detailed with a load of passive boosts for your class. There's 3 different trees you can choose to progress through. The top tree is usually related to firearms. The middle tree, utility such as tanking passives like additional health, armor, and resistances, or healing. And the bottom is normally for anomaly damage, which boosts the power and efficiency of your skills. The best part is that you don't have to commit to just one tree, and your points aren't locked or permanent. There are hubs throughout each tree that will link to the other ones, so you can actually have some points in one and some in the other. You can also choose to respec those points at any time without any kind of penalty or charge. Loot plays a huge part in this type of game, and thankfully Outriders does it right. The loot definitely feels rewarding and gives you that urge and desire to grind away for the perfect gear. Outriders has tons of gear which cosmetically changes the way your character looks, and has plenty of different stats and mods that there's a huge variety of different gear to grind for. It also has a huge amount of legendary weapons and gear as well. On top of all that, loot comes with mods or certain perks that can drastically change the way your skills work. Gear also boosts your attributes like health, firepower, or anomaly power, crit chance, weapon and skill leech, and much more, giving you the ability to grind for the perfect rolls. Rare gear will always have one mod, usually a tier 1 mod. Epic gear will always have 2, typically with a tier 1 mod and a tier 2 mod. Legendaries will always have a tier 2 and a tier 3 mod. Tiers are essentially categories that mods are divided into based on their quality, tier 3 being the best. One thing that's actually taken up a lot of my time that I've loved in this game is the crafting system. Now, how it works is you're able to dismantle weapons and gear that you don't want, and by doing so, you'll gain not only crafting materials, but you'll also gain shards and mods. Shards are used in crafting to upgrade the attributes on stats. With the mods, when you dismantle a weapon that has a mod or mods that you don't currently have in your crafting table, it'll unlock those mods permanently for you, allowing you to take a mod you have unlocked and put it on another weapon or piece of gear by replacing a current one on it. And once you unlock a mod, you have it forever permanently. It's not like you can just use it once and then you have to find it again. It's a really awesome system that I love. It has me constantly hunting for mods to unlock, which adds even more enjoyment to the loot and the grinding aspect of the game. Something that's incredibly unique about Outriders is its difficulty system. It doesn't have your standard easy, normal, hard options. It has something called world tiers. How this works is you begin at world tier 1, and as you kill enemies you'll gain XP and progress towards the next world tier until you've completely filled the bar. Once you unlock a world tier, it's unlocked forever and you can change it at will whenever you please, whether it's raising or lowering it, as long as it's a tier you've already unlocked. The higher the world tier, the harder the game gets, but the higher the modifiers for rare and exciting loot are as well. On top of that, world tiers will actually upgrade the item level that you're able to wear, despite your level being lower. For example, world tier 4 will allow gear that's 1 level higher than your current level to drop, and will have a wearable item level modifier of +1 as well, meaning you can wear that gear. So despite being level 7, you'll find gear at level 8 and be able to actually wear it. The max level in this game is level 30, but with this world tier system, you can actually get to level 50 with your gear, as long as you can get your world tier high enough. The highest world tier is 15. Outriders also has an extremely complex and addictive endgame. Once you complete the main story, you'll unlock something called expeditions. There will be 15 expeditions total for you to do in the end game, and these will be completely new maps that you've never seen or played before. The expeditions also have their own difficulty system that's separate from the world tiers, which is called challenge tiers. Once you've completed the story and begin expeditions, you'll start on challenge tier 3. As you complete expeditions, your challenge tier will increase. Loot also functions a little differently in expeditions. Enemies won't drop gear in these, but you'll receive loot at the end of the mission once you've completed it. While the vast majority of my time spent with Outriders has been a blast and overall a really good experience, the game does come with some issues as well. The biggest issues are server instability and crashes. Unfortunately, the servers for Outriders these first few days have been very spotty to say the least, with many people, including myself, getting kicked offline and out of the game, which in turn meant the game didn't save, and I probably had to do that last fight I finally finished all over again, and it turned out that I did, and being on World Tier 11 while doing a monster hunt that's incredibly hard really makes you angry when you finally beat it, only to get booted out of the game, and forces you to do it all over again. Thankfully, it seems like they've got the server issues figured out for the most part. It seems to be working better, and they did note that they've been working on improving the servers, but this still was an issue in the first few days. It's even got to the point that you sometimes can't even log in at all. The developers are diligently working to resolve the issue, and hopefully they'll have a fix implemented soon that will correct this issue completely. One other issue with the game has been crashes. It's caused my Xbox to act weird and crash randomly at certain times, closing Outriders completely. It isn't happening all the time, but since launch it has happened a few times and does get irritating as well. In the end, Outriders is amazing, and there's no other way to put it. Even with the server issues and couple crashes, this game has been well worth my money, and I know that it's going to keep me pretty busy grinding for gear, beating the expeditions, and replaying it all on the other classes. I'm incredibly pleased and impressed. This is exactly how you're supposed to make a looter, and the Marvel's Avengers game could do with learning a few things from this one. I cannot express enough how much fun I've had playing this game. And that concludes my review of Outriders. If you found this review helpful, hit that thumbs up and comment to let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Outriders content. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, everyone.